Hey fellas, how you doing? It is Wednesday. I believe it's the 10th. Tomorrow is September 11th. I'm gonna give you some groundwork, and then I'm gonna tell you a couple of war stories I've been wanting to tell forever. And I was medically retired from the U.S. Army in 2000, March of 2003. I was an EOD Sergeant. Anyways, I have the, I believe it's QADR, the amount of time for this to all the stuff that I was bumping around doing in the 80s and the 90s in Central and South America. Anyways, pretty much what would my original. And I'm excited. In the Army, I was given what's called blanket travel orders. They're called DA Form 1610s. And in mine said, please authorize this individual for worldwide mobility, worldwide travel. Now, I had to file all the paperwork when I got back, and I couldn't just do that. There had to be a reason for me to go places. Now, I was assigned to, when some of the things happened, at the 36th EOD at Corazon, Panama. Back then, down there was wild, wild west. There were civil wars going on in Guatemala and El Salvador. You had all kinds of violent Maoist guerrillas. A Sendero Luminoso, which is called the Shining Path, is in Peru, and Tupac Amaru, which is also in there. You had the M19 and the FARC in Colombia. You had the M20 in Panama. I mean, it was the fucking wild, wild west. Also in that time, they were standing up Delta Force. And at that time when they were standing up Delta Force, they just wanted the best of the killers. They didn't have they never thought about EOD guys. So, anyways, in a lot of places like in El Salvador and Nicaragua, you had, if they didn't have a military group, I would be assigned to the regional security officers. That's the head of security for an embassy outside the United States. And sometimes a three-letter agency called the Central Intelligence Agency. They would always be under some bullshit diplomatic office or something, some crazy. Anyways. All right, so I'll tell you one about El Salvador. I'll tell you two about El Salvador, and I might have already told you one of them, so I'll just tell you one about a. All right. Anyways, I don't know if you guys know what some of the things that EOD personnel do. We get to see, whether you want to see it or not, first seen ordnance from different countries. And how can I say this? Well, it's declassified. I guess I can just tell you. So, anyways, in the 36 EOD, when I was there, we had pagers. These little, they were about as big as this, but anyways, and you were on a 15-minute string. There was always a two-man bomb team, EOD team, ready to go. And at that time, I was a brand newly minted sergeant. And beeper goes off. Report to the unit. Get to the unit. Anyways. And I end up on a C-12, a U.S. Army C-12. I believe it was General Jowlin's C-12. And when I showed up there, I showed up with, I knew we were going to El Salvador, but no one would tell me why. Just shut the fuck up, get on the fucking plane, don't ask any fucking questions. And so, the guy who was supposed to go with me his name was Sergeant Knight, Knight. So anyways, All right. So, anyways, he doesn't make the trip, and so I get on there, and I take. Oh, I was given a 9mm pistol, ammunition, and if you've ever seen a crew chief's flight book or somebody who flies, it's got 3 metal rings in it, and it's plastic, and you put like directions and how to. Let me just go back. There's a couple of for first seen pieces of ordnance that we want to take a look at and don't have. It's called a pre-tech rep, and that means preliminary intelligence report before you try to make it safe for transport. Okay. Now, mind you, this is General Jowlin's C-12, and he has a CW-3 or CW-4, and I think a major as the captain and the co-pilot on there. So, anyways, and I don't know what's going on. So we land in El Salvador, get down there, and we're just waiting on the tarmac, and the captain is bent. No, the major's been out of shape, and the CW-3 and 4 is just like. They're all fucking bent out of shape because they have to take a fucking sergeant, an enlisted puke on the general's plane. They're just so fucking bent out of shape about that. They didn't talk to me. They're asking me all kinds of questions. I said, I don't know. And all I had was a blanket, 1610, and told to be here. And before we leave, I believe it's called Quarry Heights. You can hear the major and then the chief on the phone to Corey. It's just bullshit. We shouldn't be fucking having to take it. And they basically got told to shut the fuck up and just take me there. So, here we go. We land, we get there. A full bird colonel comes out. He's with the Mill Group. And I don't know if you know a lot about U.S. embassies, but if we have a military agreement, I think they're called MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with that country, we're going to interact with them on a military basis. Their military guys and our military guys. So the colonel's already there. And mind you, there's civil war going on there. There is. Anyways, there's just all kinds of crazy shit going on there. We land, jump off the plane, go piss off on the side of the inn, go take a leak off on the side of the thing, and the chiefs they're just trying to cause trouble. And when the colonel got there, he basically told them to shut the fuck up and go wait on the aircraft. And for me, he says, you're with me. What the fuck's going on? So anyways, they pile me up in the car, and we get ready to leave the tarmac, and the El Salvadorian government tells them, don't worry, we did a raid earlier this morning, and we'll bring the items to you. And I'm like, okay, no problem. What I didn't know at the time, and when I got back, man, let me do this in logical order. So this 3 or 4 trucks pull up, and all of these El Salvadorian soldiers pull off, and they just start unloading all of this ordnance. Now, the first generation of shoulder-fired anti-aircraft guns, anti-aircraft missiles, were called the Red Eye. And then after the Red Eye, it was called a Stinger, okay? And what they have is they have a BC unit, battery control unit, that goes on the bottom. And then you squeeze different parts of it and pop the antennas out to identify friend or foe. Okay, so we gave those to some people who ended up, when they made peace, sold them to the drug cartels. So we had to get them back. Now, I would love to tell you that I was one of the guys that were there kicking in doors. No, that was an afterthought. Only when they needed to bring them back did they involve guys like me. I didn't answer any, I didn't say anything. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir, I can handle this. No problem, sir. Yep, yep, yep. Did whatever I had to do. So, anyways, it was, I mean, for inside, I was going like, it was everything I wanted in a bag of chips. So, I went from selling weed and drugs on fucking Highland Park streets to doing this clandestine. Oh, I fucking loved it. So, anyways, what they unload are some of those of our U.S. shoulder-fired missiles. And I was like, why the fuck? At the time, I didn't know we had given them to them. All I was told is to make them safe for transport, and they had been modified so that their IFF, identify friend or foe, had been disabled. So whatever aircraft they pointed it at, that plane was going down. So, anyways. So, but on top of that, a truck comes up, a fourth truck comes up late, and it has the Russian Grail, which is the Russians' shoulder-fired anti-aircraft missile on it. I'd never seen one and anything like that. And the only clue I got is the render safe procedure for those is this information is based upon the best technical information available, which means to you as an EOD tech, we have no fucking clue. Good luck. And I knew EOD school, which when I went through was at the end of Highway 210 in Indian Head, Maryland. I don't know if it's still there or whatever else, but all three phases were there. Ground, air, and nuclear were all there. I don't know how much it's changed since in the last bunch of years, 20 plus years. So anyways, and I was like, holy fucking shit. So I did the best I could to make them safe for transport. I made sure I checked for the BCU units. I wouldn't, and if they had a BC battery control unit, and I would unplug it and unscrew it or pop it out or that, just get them out. That's just one extra thing, so we don't have to worry about it. So then I tell them that we, and I was, in the meantime, Corey Heights has talked to the colonel at the Mill Group at the embassy in El Salvador, and they want the missiles to come back. And they want them to come back on General Jowlin's C-12. And then Major and at CW3 were like, they pitched a fucking fit. And they're just carrying on. And the fucking colonel had to fucking just stomp on him. Shut the fuck up. You're gonna fucking do this. Nobody gives a fuck what you think. And I know this is just unprecedented. I'm not working for no fucking sergeant. Anyways, they wouldn't help me. They wouldn't do anything. So I had to load all this shit up by myself. And I put it in the walkway between the seats. And we take off. And in the meantime, I had to, in transit, my company commander, his name was Hassan at that time. He said that the senator, he was from Hawaii. He had lost an arm in a way. I don't remember his name. He and I believe the other senator's name was Sam Nunn. They wanted a briefing, me to give them a briefing, and I was, and the captain said he would meet me where the plane landed. So when the plane lands, we land on the Air Force, U.S. Air Force side of the base, and Panamanian Customs is trying to come over there, and they made the Panamanian Customs guys just go away. So let me tell you something. I didn't clear customs and go to El Salvador, and then I don't clear customs when I come back from El Salvador. But I was never off any tarmac. I wasn't allowed to go off and like have a good time or do anything like that. So we get down there, and the Air Force EOD, God bless you, EOD guys just, if you need something, they're EOD guys, no matter branch of service, help each other. That's my personal opinion. So the Air Force EOD guys are there, and he was an E7. I believe that's a senior master sergeant in the Air Force. It's either 3 up and I think it's 3 up and 4 down because you count their stripes and you add 1, and that's his rank. And I knew he was an E7, so whatever an E7 in the Air Force was. And he's like, hey, he pops his head in the door, looks down the walkway down the plane, and his eyes get about like that. He's like, holy fuck, what? And I'm just like, hey, I'm just here. Anyways, so all that's finished. I never get to brief any of the senators. My company commander, Hassan, went and did that. And yeah. So once that happened, the military, no, the Department of State, along with the CIA, realized that they had a little gap, and they needed guys like me that could go around and do those things. So I was bumping around all over Central and South America. Now I'll throw in one more story like that. So once you get, and you know what, here's what I did. I don't drink a lot. I'm not a big party guy. I don't go out and cause trouble. All I would do is go to work out, try to eat healthy, and go home and lift weights. That's it. And learn how to fight. I was big time into martial arts. I was trying to learn wrestling, and I wasn't exposed to jiu-jitsu at that time. So it was just boxing, wrestling, and Muay Thai. Muay Thai had been around. So other than that, I didn't do anything. And I read a lot, and I was trying to get my associate's degree. So, and the next thing I know, I'm on a plane to Peru, and I'm again assigned to the mill group down there, and they're having problems with them. There's a group down there called the Shining Path. They're Maoist guerrillas. And there's also another group down there that's called the Tupac Amaru. And they had stole a bunch of dynamite and they were just fucking causing chaos all over that fucking Lima. Just fucking chaos, just slaughtering people. I mean, it was scary. It was scary. And so, and because at that time I was single, I mean, I would always volunteer and go, so I got to go on all of those missions and do all that kind of stuff. So, but my first supervisor, his last name is Clements. Now I don't want to tell you anything more than that, but I tried out 3 times. He made it in the Delta Force, and then he just fucking disappeared. I don't know. I know he reappeared later as like a first sergeant, and I'm sure he became a sergeant major, but I tried out 3 separate times for Delta Force. I just wasn't fucking physically gifted enough to get the job done. And you know what? It doesn't matter. But I tried out. You can be qualified, accepted, and then not selected. I was like, wow, okay. So anyways, it is what it is. I just wanted to share that. I hope I didn't overdo it, but I've been to all over planet Earth, recovering bodies, like down pilots, because they have ejection sheets which have CADs. It doesn't matter. The cartridge actuated devices. They have explosive bolts. There's all kinds of stuff like that where you need an EOD guy for. So anyways, all right, love you guys. Stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can, and if you can't, you have to take care of yourself. The high today is going to be 97. I got all my stuff done. I did the yard, I did the pool, watered the trees. Everything's done, so I'm going to just be a couch potato from them. So that's all. All I'm telling you this is for, I'm not just a pretty face. At one point in time, I was never that guy, but I was like the guy that's at the top of the pyramid. I was like the guy down like 3 or 4 levels down, the guy where they're like the last kid to get picked for kickball. You know, where they go, well, we don't have an EOD guy. And they look around and go, all right, you can come with us. Now, I would love to tell you that there I was, ankle deep in hand grenade bins and expended brass shells around me, fighting myself, K-bar in my teeth. No. And I will also tell you this, the first time when I was out on a mission and we got shelled, I peed on myself. So we called them Winky Docks back then. So anyways, all right. Like a fart in a G-string from West Texas, El Paso, I'm out of here. Bye-bye.